When does loving someone become losing yourself? What's up, everyone? Tonight we're talking about emotional exhaustion. That moment when you realize you've been the only one fighting for your relationship while they've been along for the ride. While I chill in Minecraft in the background, I want you to really hear this one. If you've ever felt like your love was taken for granted, you're not the only one. Drop a comment and tell me where you're watching from and what time it is there. I always love seeing where everyone's tuning in from. All right, grab a drink, get comfy, and let's get into it. My girlfriend, 24F, reminded me, 28mem, to pay her back $10 after I forgot my wallet. I've paid for almost everything over 4 years, and it left me feeling weird. Bro, $10 after 4 years? I, M28, have been with my girlfriend, F24, for 4 years. We're serious, planning to get married. Throughout the relationship, I've paid for nearly everything. Dates, trips, food, gifts. You name it. I'd say easily 99% of all expenses were covered by me. She never really offered to split or pay, and I never asked her to. I was working full-time and doing well financially, so I didn't mind. Recently, though, I quit my job because I was mentally exhausted. I've been going through a bit of a burnout and needed a break. She, on the other hand, is currently working full-time and doing fine financially. The other day we went out and she wanted a bubble tea. I forgot my wallet and my phone was dead, so I asked her to pay for it. It was like $10. She paid, drank it, and I dropped her off at her apartment. The next morning she reminded me to send her the money. Damn, not even a don't worry about it after everything. Just straight to collections mode. I had completely forgotten, so I sent it right away, but it left a weird feeling. I've spent thousands on her over the years, never asked for a dime back, and now that I'm out of a job and she's doing well, she couldn't let a $10 bubble tea slide. This ain't about the $10, it's the math of the relationship, suddenly not mathing anymore. It's not about the money, it's about what it says. I can't tell if I'm overthinking this or if it's a red flag. I've always treated the relationship as a partnership, and this just felt transactional. Am I being too sensitive, or is this worth paying attention to? Update. Thanks to everyone who commented. I've been reading everything and it really helped me step back and see things clearly. When we started dating, we were both students. I was finishing engineering and already had a job lined up. I also worked as a TA, so I was doing fine financially. She was still a student, so I paid because she was broke. I never asked her to pay, and she never offered. Still never offered to split anything, not even the small stuff. Not even a single coffee over 4 years. That's not forgetfulness. That's a system. I tried bringing up equality and shared effort, but she always shut it down with comments like, "You're the man, you should take care of me," or "We can't have 2 women in the relationship." Oh, okay. So, equality? Out the window. What really got to me is that when I stopped proposing dates or doing everything, she started saying I wasn't making enough effort. Man, the bar only exists when you're the one jumping over it. Meanwhile, I've been carrying this for 4 years. That bubble tea wasn't about the $10. It was about realizing how little support I was getting back. That realization hurts, especially when you've convinced yourself it's love. All right, let's check out some of the top comments, because honestly, you guys get it. Now, as Plugge said, "Excuse me. Sir, are you saying that she wanted bubble tea for herself, expected you to pay, and because you couldn't, she had to pay for her own bubble tea herself, and now you have to pay her back for the bubble tea she wanted? That delivery deserves an Oscar. Because yeah, when you lay it out like that, it's wild." Lovealone88 chimed in with, "Exactly this, OP. If you stay with her after this, you're a dummy." Look, I'm not saying it, but I'm also not disagreeing. And Maleficent Chartweb 6034 came in with the full breakdown. It was her bubble tea. You don't live together. No shared finances. This wasn't even a date. It was her personal little treat, and she expected you to cover it. And considering you're unemployed right now, that's actually gross. Then they added, If she reacts with anything other than mild embarrassment and an apology, reevaluate the relationship. Honestly, facts. So, what do you guys think? Was this just a small, awkward moment? Or does it say something bigger about the relationship? Let me know in the comments. Especially if you've been through something like this. I know some of y'all have stories. And hey, if you're watching this while drinking your own bubble tea, cheers. You deserve it. All right, let's move on to the next story. I, 27 female, am starting to regret my age gap marriage with 43 male. Throwaway, obviously. Okay, to start, we met when I was newly turned 22. I didn't realise he was on his late 30s. He honestly looked and acted like he was late 20s. Ugh, why do they always somehow pass as 29 until you're already emotionally in it? Like, I really thought I knew what I was doing. When I first met him and he came along and offered security, I jumped on it. I knew it was weird dating a guy so much older, but I've always had a rebellion-ish mindset. I don't know, I thought it was kind of hot. I blame Lana Del Rey and people in my life for not telling me it was a questionable relationship. Looking back now, yep, peak born to die mindset, and everyone around me just stayed silent. Not helpful. We married when I was 25, and everything has been pretty all right on paper, so I feel bad complaining. We're both on the same page with a lot of things, live a pretty comfy life as dinks, and are building a solid foundation together. We show affection to each other, though sometimes it feels like he's just a roommate or a parental figure. Our sex life is boring, and that's also a big part of it. I know if I divorced him, we'd both be back to where we started financially, and I couldn't really afford to live how I do. I also don't want to go through the hassle of dating again. And honestly, yeah, the idea of starting over sounds exhausting. But also, staying stuck sounds worse. Anyways, even though I'd say our marriage is like 80% good and I feel a deep love for him, I also realise now that my frontal lobe is fully developed. I'm growing out of this container of him making all the decisions. I probably wouldn't choose him as a partner if I had met him now. Isn't that wild? How you can outgrow the version of yourself who said yes. Really, the core of it all is that I'm carrying this resentful, ick feeling that he pursued me when I was so young. So what if I was mature for my age? I couldn't even imagine dating a 22-year-old now, and I'm only 27. Has anybody else been in this situation? How did you work through it? Edit. I received a lot of interesting perspectives, so thank you to everyone who commented. I didn't realise this would get so much traction, but that's what everyone says. Honestly, I was just in my late-night feelings and wanted to get it off my chest, see if anyone else has successfully worked through not only a change in personalities with their partner, but generational gaps tied into that. I thought about deleting this, but I think it might help others think through things in their relationships, so I'll leave it up. To clarify some things, he wasn't well off when we got married. We just built a stable life together. He's changed a lot also, and in a way we influenced each other into the people we are now, or maybe we just both had space to let go of past traumas and then accidentally became different people in that process. That part hit me too. How growth doesn't always mean growing together. And the ick from the age gap didn't come from social media. It came from me growing up and seeing relationship dynamics more clearly. Lastly, I will talk to him about all this. It's not like we haven't deeply and repeatedly talked about issues before. I just never brought up the age difference because I felt like it was my choice to marry him. And in the beginning, I told him a million times I was all right with it. But maybe I was all right with it before I knew better. And now I do. And I want to end this with some of the comments that really stayed with me. Astasis Eason once said, 27 is a really great age to start over. So is 28, so is 29, and so is 30. Who cares if you couldn't live how and where you want? That's kind of the beauty in messing it all up and getting to start again. There's something weirdly comforting about that. Like, yeah, maybe the restart is part of the story. Guy73 wrote, can confirm, even 43 and 48 are great ages to start again. I've done it and I'm 52 now, never been happier in a relationship. With every year you know yourself better. And importantly, know what is and definitely isn't okay for you in a relationship and partner. Don't be held back by putting yourself in a box. If you suppress your agency or sexual needs, you can pretty much guarantee that you'll be resentful. Disaster and pain then become inevitable. The strangers on the internet can't and shouldn't decide for you. And that last line? Yeah, that's the truth. And Wally shared, "My mum is starting over at 59 and she's happier than I've ever seen her in my life. It's never too late to choose yourself. And that right there might be the most important reminder of all. So now I'm wondering, have you ever stayed in something too long because it was comfortable? Or did you walk away and choose yourself? Let me know in the comments. I'll be reading. And if you've got a story like this, you already know, I want to hear it." And with that, let's move on to the next story. I, 38 male, found out my wife, 36 female, cheated in the beginning of our relationship. I found out my wife cheated in the beginning of our relationship because she was not sure if things with me were going to work out with me. I overheard her saying this to her sister, said she regretted it after seeing a future with me, and nothing of the kind happened again. Should just try and forget what I heard. Man, the way some people find out this stuff, it's never from the person who should have told them. My wife and I have been together since 2010, married in 2016. We both work full-time and don't have kids. We've been trying for a while without success, though recent events left me wondering if I really want this with her. Yikes. Imagine trying for kids while this is hanging over your head. We met when we both got in the university, me in 2007 and she in 2008. We were friends before we got together. In the end of 2009 and start of 2010, she was going through a bad time in her relationship at the time, and I ended up supporting her with a mutual friend of ours. She broke up with her ex, and a few months later, one thing led to another and we ended up kissing, which led to me inviting her on a date, and the rest just happened. We were officially together in 2010, and I couldn't be happier. I hate when people say that in the beginning of a story like this. You just know it's about to go downhill. Our marriage and relationship in general were always pretty good. We've always communicated well, and I never had a reason to suspect my wife was cheating. Last Saturday, there was a barbecue in her brother's house. I got inside to get some stuff in the kitchen. While I was looking inside the fridge, I overheard my wife talking to her sister in the other room. I wasn't trying to snoop on them at first. I really don't do this kind of thing. But then I heard something like, "My name can never know about this." Well, of course that was my cue to actually snoop. I hid and listened to their talking. Apparently her sister almost cheated on her boyfriend and was feeling guilty. And my wife told her about the time she slept with a guy who was a lab assistant with her at the university. After we started dating, we were exclusive, see Edit 2 in 2010. In her own words, she said, "I wasn't sure things with my name would work out at the time, and I just allowed myself to do it. I felt guilty once I saw how much he loved me and treated me well, and I could see a future with him. I wasn't sure, so I cheated is not the mic drop she thinks it is. That logic is insane." Then her sister asked if something else happened later in the relationship, and my wife said, "No, it was just that one time and I wish I could forget about it." I haven't talked to her about this yet. I'm not even sure how to approach her. I feel incredibly hurt, and I know confronting her right now may just worsen things. Honestly, good on you for not just blowing up on the spot. That's more self-control than most people have. Again, I never had reasons to suspect she cheated, but she hid this from me all these years, and now that I just found out, it feels like she just cheated on me. I'm really broken. She noticed I'm not myself these past days, and I dismissed it by saying it's just stress, but she knows me and she will keep trying to get an answer. I don't know what to do. Should just try and forget what I heard. I don't know if I should talk to her right now or process it in therapy first. Edit. I decided I will talk to her, but not right now. I'm still very upset, and I don't want this to turn into a shouting match. I want it to be a conversation, not a fight. Smart move. Talk after therapy. Let the pros help you untangle the rage spaghetti. I have a therapy session today and I will speak with my therapist about it. Hopefully it will help me start this conversation with my wife. Had I known she cheated at the time, I would have broken up with her. I understand everyone saying, just leave. But this is the person I built my life with, the person who supported me in so many ways and helped me grow as a person and as a professional. Before I make any harsh decisions, I want to hear what she has to say about this. Then I will decide for myself what will be the way forward. No, I don't believe she cheated on me other than this time. She never gave me any reasons to think she did. I've always had access to her phone. She was never secretive of anything, and we spend most of our free time together. But how she will answer when I talk to her about it will surely either confirm this or change it completely. Edit 2. I talked to my therapist. It helped me a lot. My head is in a much better place now, and I will talk to my wife tonight. My decision on what will be my next steps will be based on the way she reacts and responds to me. Also, people are assuming we weren't exclusive when the cheating happened. We were. Words were lost in translation, as after we started dating literally means depois que começamos a namorar in my mother tongue. And this is something we say in my country only when couples are exclusive, which was our case. We did have a phase of friends with benefits when we were both seeing other people, but we knew about it. Update. I received a lot of good feedback on my other post. As usual, there's the Divorce Now crew on Reddit, but among those, I was actually surprised to see good suggestions. Ha ha, Reddit's standard reaction: divorce, burn everything, block them. Anyway, after I made the post, I talked to my therapist. She helped me put things in perspective and made me really think on what and how I value my relationship with my wife. She made me realize that I really needed to have this conversation with my wife, but not about the cheating itself, but about how she hid it from me. The cheating sucks, yes, but the secrecy, that's where the real damage is. Last night, I decided to speak with my wife. I waited until we were both chilling and called her to our bedroom, saying I needed to talk. She tensed up and went with me, asked me what was wrong. We both sat on our bed, and I had to hold myself together not to break down in front of her. I said I heard when she spoke to her sister about the time she cheated when we started our relationship. Yes, when we started being exclusive. I said I was hurt, a lot, but even more due to the fact that she hid it from me. I asked her why she did it and why she never told me anything. She broke down crying in front of me. She said it was true, it happened right after we became exclusive. She said that us being friends at the time and even having a friends with benefits phase made her fall in love with me pretty fast. At the time, she had some friends that kept encouraging her to stay away from me because she was getting too much attached and too fast, and she needed to wait and have more fun before going all in into another relationship. I swear, friends like that are always the first ones to ruin something good. When I asked her to be my girlfriend, she said she really wanted to be together with me, so she said yes. But her being her words, naive idiot at the time, she let herself get influenced by those friends, and in one of those night outs, she got drunk and ended hooking up, making out with the guy that worked with her in the lab. She said it was just a hookup make-out and nothing sexual happened, and she swore she exaggerated the story to her sister, but they did not have sex. She said she regretted it immediately and left the party for her home and cried all night. I said it was irrelevant if they had sex or not. It was the fact that she kept this hidden from me that hurts the most. She cried again and said it was wrong of her. It was a stupid mistake. She just wanted to pretend it never happened. Said she was afraid I was going to leave her for something so stupid and did not have the courage to tell me. She swore she loved me and never felt anything for anyone else after we got together. Then she begged for me to forgive her, again saying it was a stupid mistake of a young and naive girl who has gotten out of a bad relationship and let herself be influenced by bad friends. I felt she was honest, and I mean it. I believe every word of her, and I feel she genuinely regrets what has happened. I said I forgive her, but I wouldn't be able to celebrate the date of our start again. So we decided to pick another date. We now celebrate our marriage anniversary and the date we moved in together. She deflated like a balloon after we spoke. She said it was tormenting her to keep this secret. She's lucky she got a second chance. Not everyone would offer that. I'm not going to lie and say this situation did not leave a mark on our relationship. It did. Things definitely shifted, but not in a we need to end kind of way. But talking to her really did me good, and I love her more than anything in my life. Even though it hurt me, I'm now certain we will both be able to navigate this together. Respect, forgiveness is hard, but real love, like actual real love, survives ugly truths. All right, time for the comments section, aka the part where Reddit becomes your therapist or judge. Snoo Recipes 99891 said, "The betrayal just happened to you, no matter how much time has passed for her. You can't bury it, as it will come out in many different unhealthy ways. If you want to keep growing together and be healthy, happy, and have a safe, supportive relationship, she has to own it and work towards regaining your trust." Hazella71 wrote, "She's still not being truthful. What advantage is there to lying to her sister? I know you don't care whether they slept together. The lying and hiding it is absolutely the more important issue here. But I would still feel like she's holding something back. You both need individual and couples therapy to adequately address this, I think. Why do we lie to the people we claim to love and trust the most?" Shaz Onlybag 47 shared, "You're worried that confronting her might harm your relationship, but the reality is that it has already been harmed. You don't have the option of the relationship not suffering. Your choices are whether you want to bear all of the suffering yourself or whether you want to work through it with her. If you don't tell her that you know, then you will suffer in silence. Whether you intend to or not, you'll start to resent her. You'll lash out at her, and she won't even know why. That will harm your relationship. This doesn't have to be a relationship killer, but I don't think you can have a healthy relationship going forward unless you have a real conversation with her about it." All right, those were just a few of the top comments. Whether or not this relationship survives, one thing's for sure: silence only makes the damage worse. You can't heal from something you pretend didn't happen. Anyway, heavy story, heavy thoughts. Let me know in the comments what you would do in this situation. Would you walk away or try to rebuild? All right, that's it for today's stories. Thanks for hanging out with me, whether you are here for the drama, the healing, or just the Minecraft jumps. If any of these hit a little too close to home, yeah, same. And if you've got your own story to share, you already know I'm listening. Don't forget to leave a comment. And if you like this kind of storytelling, I've got more coming your way. I'll see you in the next video. Take care out there,